Hey, Truth, Tracy, the light Truth, Tracy. Now, you were there as a Darling Routier supporter when I created the account Dream of Krupp. I used a picture of a female, portrayed that troll account as a female in order to infiltrate the Darling Routier supporter camp, which I did successfully. And the reason that I was trying to infiltrate that Darling supporter camp was to get to a secret group on Facebook that had all my family's information, including my father's picture, places where people worked, my sisters, everything on there. I infiltrated it and I collected it. Also, during that, one of Darley's main supporters was a very wealthy man by the name of Elias. He would give a whole bunch of money to that family and that cause. My issue with Elias was that he didn't care about the cause. He didn't care about innocent or guilt. He had a crush on Darling. So along with 150 or 200 other non-supporters, I engaged Dreama with Elias to prove that he was just sexually deviant at the time, rest his soul. And I hit on him using a fake account. Played games, and then he started becoming sexual with Dreama. So I played into that. This is a 72-year-old man who's since lost his life. And we became great friends afterwards. Because I wanted to show that he was only supporting Darling because he crushed on her. So Dreama was portrayed as the widow of a very wealthy lawyer who passed away. And he left $50,000 to Dreama to give to a case where they thought that someone was innocent. Dreama infiltrated the supporter camp of Darling Routier based on the foundation that the $50,000 could be given to Darling. Elias fell in love with the picture. My intention was only to infiltrate the supporter camp, who were coming at me. We were arguing, but I had a whole secret page of things that they were trying to do to me and all this stuff with my family's information. So when Elias started hitting on Dreama, I played into it. There was no cyber sex thing. There was a little bit of, you send me this picture and I'll send you that picture. But all of the Darling non-supporters knew what was going on. Elias became very sexual. He even said, let me go take a bath and jerk off and we'll talk about this more. And I posted every single bit of it for everyone to see. For everybody to see. And I was able to infiltrate the groups. Dreama was able to become the administrator of one of the Darling Routier supporter groups when they absolutely hated BryanSt.John. So in all actuality, the Dreama was a joke on the Darling Routier supporters. It wasn't as if I was pretending to be female to get the love of a man. I trolled someone as a female to make him look like a fucking fool. And he even called, and he thought it was funny afterwards. May God rest his soul. So they want to spin this narrative that I pretended to be a female in order to get the attention and love and sexual cybersection with this man. No, when he did that, I played into it. And my whole group of Darling non-supporters were watching. It was a joke on him. And it worked. It was funny as fuck. Tracy knows about that account. She saw this happen. I don't expect her to lie. And we're not going to talk about any interaction that Tracy had with Dreama. But we're going to talk about the call, the purpose for it. The purpose was not that Bryan likes to pretend to be a woman to hit on men. Bryan made a troll account that was female and embarrassed the shit out of a Darley supporter. And that's exactly what happened. And it worked. Dreama was able to infiltrate those groups. Elias was so in love with that picture that he made Dreama the administrator of a Darley Routier supporter group. And those Darley Routier supporters absolutely hate me. They did back then. They don't as much now. So that's the truth about that. There's a difference between catfishing and pretending like you're a female because you're gay and you like men, than to use that to fool a person that only supported Darley Routier, in my opinion, because he was attracted to her. And I kept saying, because he would hit on women all the time. He was 72 years old. God rest his soul. Elias and I became friends after that because I got him. And he thought it was funny afterwards. Tracy was there and saw all this. So it wasn't as if I was playing as a female to get to men sexually. It was a joke, and about 250 fucking people laughed at Elias for it. God rest his soul. I know that when Elias was laying up dying, he got very little support from the Darley Routier supporters, and he sent lots of money to them. These are all facts. I'm not going to sit here and lie and ask Tracy to come into it. So don't sit and try and pretend like I catfish some man because I have feelings for men, because that's not what happened. Tracy will tell the truth on that. I infiltrated. I used the troll account based on a $50,000 cash donation. And as I was doing that, one of Darley's supporters fell in love with Dreama. So I played on it. And it worked. It was funny. It got him. And God rest his soul, he's gone now. But that's what happened on that. It fooled a bunch of people. I pretended that Dreama would fight with Bryan. Anybody fighting with Bryan, they liked him. And this is a fact. So I put up on a Facebook group, I put up Dreama actually arguing with Bryan. That drew the Darley supporters towards Dreama. And then the mention of $50,000 drew them more because they need donations. They need donations. So that's what happened. Tracy, I know that you're about the truth. I know that you won't deny it. But that's what happened. Not like I catfished anybody. The whole thing only lasted about 10 days. For 10 days from me creating that account, they made Dreama the administrator of a Darley Routier is Innocent group. And that was the intention of creating that account. To show people, without going back to Darley Routier, to show people, though, that if you show up with money and you show support for Darley, they will welcome you with open arms. And it worked. It worked even so much because that whole sexual thing that went on, I posted it for everybody to see. Everybody knew it was me doing it, except for Elias and some of the Darley supporters. I don't troll people, but I have trolled myself. And it worked. And it was a big joke on the Darley Routier supporters. What was that, about 7-8 years ago? And it worked, didn't it, Tracy? So stop with the Bryan catfished.